Howdy, folks. How the hell are you? I'm not that southern Houston.
And I'm Kaylen, and you're listening to Crime or Reason.
Hello, guys.
Welcome.
How are we doing on this fine, whatever day it is?
Anxious.
I don't even tell people when I'm anxious anymore because I think it's just a natural assumption that, I am.
Normal.
We are recording, which is always a blessing.
Always.
Always a blessing. We're having fun. We are seeing each other, which we're very excited about.
Always fun.
Seems like it doesn't happen as much anymore after we decided to make a podcast.
We're officially out of the probably haunted basement. No more of that. We're completely moved into a whole new house. So We'll see what kind of spooks we got here.
We are in a whole new room, my dude.
A whole new room.
I don't know what accent that was. A whole new room. It sounded very eccentric.
He sounded like Miranda singing.
What the heck? So, how's your day been, honestly? You worked today.
I did.
I did not.
I know.
But I have to go back to work tomorrow, and then your days are coming off after that.
I'll be working Saturday.
Okay, so your day is coming off? What is that? Your off day is coming?
Yeah, and I'm going swimming because it's gorgeous.
Yay.
You hate swimming.
Yeah, I do hate swimming.
So.
I know, I'm a sociopath. I get that a lot.
Yeah, he is.
Kaylen and I could not be polar opposites. So we have sticky notes in front of us because we decided to do something fun. We're not sure what that is, but we have them. And hers are like bright yellow and mine are like blue and sad. And Kaylen loves... What did you put? Pee. Kaylen must urinate now. Mine says Josh. Anyway, sorry. So we're just writing down random things on these throughout our videos now because it's fun for us to look back on. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Kaylen likes to swim. She loves to swim, actually. She loves water. She loves beach. I could not get further away from water.
The sharks.
The sharks 100%. But, like, I don't like going to the beach. I don't like swimming, like, even in a pool.
You like rain?
However... Yeah, Kaylen likes super sunny weather, and I love when it rains. Like, obsessed. I went to Seattle, and while I was there, it stormed 2 of the days that I was there, and the rest of the time it was just like a light drizzle the whole time, and that was perfect for me. So, to the point I've even looked up, like, the rainiest places in the U.S. So, I just want to live somewhere where it rains 200 days out of the year.
Well, I have seasonal depression, so...
Me too, and it's when I'm so hot...
Completely opposite.
Right. That my back sticks to the bed.
I don't want cold. I don't want rain. I want sunny and shiny and hot.
Yeah, no, ideal for me is definitely a place that it rains more often than it doesn't. And never lower than 40 degrees, but never higher than like 65.
Ideal for me is a beach.
I know, it's gross. I know most of you guys are going to agree with Kaylen, but... And it's not even that I didn't enjoy swimming. Like, I come from a family of swimmers. We were all swimming growing up. And we were all swimming from a very early age. And so I swim really well. I just don't want to. It's not that I hate water. I just hate warm water.
Weirdo.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
On that note, Houston, what kind of news do we have going on right now? Because we are, I think, trying to maybe change up things a little bit for a minute.
So, Kaylen and I have been considering what's going to be best for us while we are going through our transitions. We obviously know that... Sorry, you could probably hear us we've been playing and clicking with these pens. We're setting them...
Bad idea.
We're
it was a really bad idea to put a pin in my
Yeah, we're going to set them down right now. We're not going to touch them until I have to play with it in 2 minutes. But... Kaylen and I are doing, even though we've gotten through some bigger parts of what we're going through, we've still got a lot of transitions going on, and we don't want to have another repeat of where we went 3 weeks without an episode. Mm-hmm. Even though it wasn't really stuff that we could help, it happened. So Kaylen and I are stating that we will still continue to upload, and it'll be either on Monday or Thursday. It'll be on one of our regular days, just until we can get through the next couple months. So you may be getting 2 episodes a week. You may be getting 1 episode a week. It's just what we can get as we can. Just because Kaylen is moving into a new house and I'm still transitioning in a job.
We are on completely opposite schedules.
Right. Before we were able to both have the weekends off.
Now we do not.
Right. So Kaylen has her weekends off, but I am now getting my days off in the middle of the week. But when I get done with my transitional period, I will then go to the weekends. So it'll definitely be a lot more consistent.
Yeah, we'll be back with you guys all the time.
And actually what we're wanting to do then is, actually we're not going to spoil the surprise, but just know that we're going to have maybe another outlet for you guys to really check us out. So we are incredibly excited for what's going to happen when we get a couple months from now.
Pumped.
So, pumped. Fucking lit.
Pump it up.
Funkin'.
Funkin'-licious.
Fergalicious.
Definitions.
Definitions. Please don't copyright us, Fergie. We love you, Queen. Even though
Yeah,
you really
Queen.
did butcher the fucking national anthem out on
Oh,
here, but
God.
we still love you. Big girls don't cry, but I do, because I'm a bitch.
Same.
Anyway, but yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. So it's going to be okay. We're going to be great. So just know that we're going to be pushing for those 2 episodes every week, but there's a good chance that on some of the weeks you're only going to get 1. We just figured that it was easier for us to get to that point and let you guys know than for us to get to a situation where we have to skip a few weeks like we did last time. So once we get more consistent, we're going straight into our favorite time of the year, which is Halloween. Real excited about that. So it's going to be fun. We're excited. We hope you're excited. We hope your moms are excited.
We hope your grandparents are excited.
Mine are. They don't listen to the podcast, but they are. Anyway, all right, Kaylen, tell us, please. I am dying from anticipation.
Anticipation.
Do you know what that's from?
Yeah, it's from Glee. And
What?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay, there we go.
I've never actually seen Rocky Horror Picture Show. I've only
What
seen
the
the
hell?
Glee versions of the songs.
Girl, I almost swung on you.
I almost
This episode was almost over.
We were
just
almost
now.
done. Our friendship was almost over.
We were about to just be crime. The reason was about to be out the door. So, anyway.
So I do want to preface this by saying that I'm going to go ahead and put a trigger warning in for domestic violence. This is definitely a situation that we hope that nobody ends up in. It's a terrible thing. Big trigger warning. If it's not something you're into, if you need to skip on, go on and listen to one of our other episodes if you feel so inclined.
Yep, we definitely always want to let you guys know that, because we never want you guys to feel uncomfortable during one of our episodes if we can help it as possible.
Kara Kopetsky and Jessica Runions both lived in Belton, Missouri, and more specifically, they lived in Cass County, Missouri. And I am going to start with Kara because Kara Kopetsky was 17 years old, and in high school she had an on-again, off-again boyfriend. His name was Kyler Yost.
Kyler did it.
It was a pretty rocky relationship, obviously, if they were on again, off again. So Kyler was described as erratic, jealous, and sometimes abusive. Him and Kara had just broken up. On April 28th, 2007, Kara was leaving her job at the local Popeyes when Yost forced her into his vehicle after she had refused to hang out with him. She ended up calling the police this night and told them that he had kidnapped her. He had allegedly drove her around, and then he let her go in Grandview, Michigan. So on April 30th, because of this, she received an order of protection against use, which she had also told them that she had previously been kidnapped, restrained, and he had choked her. So he was served with that restraining order on May 1st. On the morning of May 4th, Kara was dropped off at Bolton High School, and her mother ended up having to come back to the school and drop some things off to her. Kara was caught on a security camera walking down the hallway of the school, likely about to skip her third period class. She did this often. It wasn't like an out of the ordinary thing for her to skip class. I don't know if she was really not.
That is such a thing that kills me. Is like, maybe not necessarily in this story, but I feel like a lot of times they're like, I think I even said it in one of my stories before, just because like that's how people described her, like she started skipping class and stuff like that, but like we really all skipped class. I think there's a difference between just like giving up entirely on school, which I think is kind of what happened with like the Rachel Berkheimer case. She, you know, like started skipping school entirely.
Yeah.
But like just being like, oh, she skipped a class, or oh, like she missed a lot. Like, you know, so did I.
Yeah, so.
If my senior year, if I wasn't 18, hands down I would have been truant.
So, again, she did it pretty often. It wasn't an uncommon thing. However, after this video of her, Kara wasn't ever heard from again. When Kara didn't return home, either her mother or an unknown source filed a missing persons report at the Belton Police Department.
I kind of want to know why that's like either her mother or an unknown source, because I feel like that should be a pretty easy thing to verify.
Right.
Like, was it the mother? Was it not the mother?
Well, one of them was, I don't know, I think it's just the sources. Like, one of them was coming, like, straight from the police report, and the other one was, like, a report on the entire case. So I'm unsure where the mix-up got thrown in. Now, Kara had left behind a lot of her belongings, including her iPod that she had just gotten for Christmas, and then her debit card was found in her school locker. And there hadn't been any activity on it since her disappearance. However, her cell phone and her purse were missing along with her. So she must have had those things on her way where she was going.
I was gonna say maybe she, like, just left her debit card in her locker as, like, a safe keep, like, through school.
Yeah.
But the fact that she was skipping class, so she would be going somewhere, plus she was taking her purse, it's a little weird that her debit card was left behind. And
Right. Now, unfortunately, the police did not fully take it seriously, just like they tend to do with, 17, 18, 19-year-olds who go missing.
She ran away. She'll be back. She ran away,
yeah. I
think for the fact of how long we have to wait for, like, adult missing persons before we can report them as missing, if we're going to have to wait that long for adults, then we should at least be really taking the kids seriously. I have a cousin who went missing in November, and we still know nothing. I'm touching on that right now, but in one of the episodes coming up, I will elaborate on that, because that's a very big case. We'll discuss that at a later time, because there's a lot into it. So we always pray for people who go missing to come home.
Right. On May 6th, Kyler told police that he hadn't heard from Kara at all on the day of her disappearance. He said he had missed a call from her around 11 a.m., but she didn't answer when he attempted to call her back. However, phone records showed that Kara had made a call to him at 9:13, and he called back at 9:20, just 1 minute after she had been seen on school surveillance. He also denied all involvement in her disappearance and, get this, passed a lie detector test and had an alibi for the morning she had gone missing.
Well,
How do you lie so good?
Well, I do. But I'm a sociopath. I'm also a narcissist. So can I out myself like that? If you're a narcissist, often you
find it easy to lie.
Well, not only that, you find yourself believing your lies. So if he is truly a narcissist, which a lot of the times you kind of see this abuse correlate, because it seems like a big control thing for him. So if he's a narcissist or has any sort of like narcissistic qualities, it's actually pretty believable that he could have passed one. This is why they can't be ruled as evidence for people who are able to do this, or used to be able to.
Right. So they knew for sure something was wrong when Kara was supposed to pick up her paycheck from Popeyes on May 9th, and she never showed up for it. So this is definitely something is wrong here.
Right.
July 23rd, 2007 rolls around, and Yost allegedly admitted him and Kara had been arguing on May 3rd about a friend she had coming to town who she had planned to hang out with. Like, from this point forward, it's going to be a lot of, like, jumping forward. So it's going to be some people who come forward and witnesses that were talking to the police and trying to basically straighten out the timeline of what had happened. All of the witnesses that came forward, I'm going to refer to by their initials because that's kind of how I found it.
Okay, that's smart.
Mm-hmm. But one of them, whose initials are KR, told the police that Kara had called him on May 4th, the day of her disappearance, and had asked him if Kyler and her and him could hang out. But he said he was too busy. Later on in the day, Kyler stopped by around 12:30 in the afternoon. This was after she had called him and talked to him, but then Kyler shows up and Kara isn't with him.
It sounds to me like that's puncturing more holes into a story because now we have KR coming out and saying, hey, she called me and asked if I could hang out with the two of them that day. So.
Right. And then, again, Kyler stopped by and Kara wasn't there.
Right.
Now, later on that day, Kyler called KR crying and said not to tell anyone he had been with Kara because of the protection order. Remember, he had a restraining order at this point.
I fucking already forgot about the whole restraining order.
Yeah,
How?
they weren't even supposed to be together.
Oh.
So,
poor Kara.
KR then tried to call Kara, but she never answered that day. We're going to jump forward on April 26th, 2010.
I thought he said, what? We're going to play that back. You tell us if Leo said, what the hell? Because that's what I heard.
We're going to jump forward on April 26th, 2010. The witness called NY was interviewed, and this was one of Kyler's roommates, and he had played in a band with him. And he said a few months prior he had been discussing relationship issues with him, and Yost allegedly said not to get attached to girls and started talking about Kara and how he was angry with her because she wouldn't love him.
So he's all of a sudden, I guess, venting and projecting with this story about how he used to love a girl and she fucked him over.
Yeah.
And he's just playing this whole victim card. God.
And
Listen.
he told this witness that he had snapped and something bad had happened to Kara.
How? I am so sorry, but how? How do you even get to the point that you're like, chicks are bad, dude? I used to be in the situation. It was fucking awful, and then I just snapped, and now something bad happened to her. Like,
right.
It doesn't take a lot of correlating to figure out that
exactly
he
what
had
had happened.
Also, too, I am noticing, is there not a vowel between the L and the R in his name? Because every single time you spell it, it's just KYLR.
Oh, KYLR.
I hate that. I absolutely... Do you hear the demon?
The demon just
tried to
came
come
out.
out of me and say, I'm Satan, and I hate that. And he's right. Like, I have to agree. That's bullshit.
On January 22nd, 2011, police were contacted by another witness who we'll call KF. And this witness allegedly said Kyler had confessed to killing Kopetsky by choking her to death. He said he then packed her up and placed her in the woods. She contacted police again, which she, as in the witness, contacted police again on February 4th and said Kyler had come over and again confessed to choking Kara and described watching her breathe her last breath before placing her in the woods.
What was he thinking to just be like... And this kid, which, I mean, he's young and dumb. I mean, he's probably a high schooler as well, like a senior.
Kyler was 18.
Yeah, so...
I don't think I mentioned that, but Kyler was 18. He was...
around the same age. Yeah. And, like, this is how you know that somebody acted purely on emotion. We don't even know what happened. I'm putting it all together in my head. But this is how you know somebody acted purely on emotion, because now they can't contain what they did. And he's not even doing it in a bragging right. Like, he's confessing, like, crying and freaking out. So maybe that kind of pokes a hole in my narcissism. But
no, he's definitely a narcissist. Okay. He's very, very... Like, I don't think he was crying to the first guy because he was afraid. I think that he was going to get caught for it. But
so here
these
he's
other
like,
ones, he's, like, bragging.
Oh,
rather
okay.
than crying. Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst. That's like the... God, what the fuck was his name?
Wait till you hear these next few. It's bad.
Who was that one guy? The guy that, like, put all of his own shit in the newspaper? The strangle, the
Hillside?
BTK killer,
Was it BTK?
bound, torture, kill. The BTK killer. Yeah, he was the one that, like, he killed that family. Like, it starts off with him killing that family, and he was, like, posting shit in newspapers,
Bragging
and he was,
about
like, pissed off when people thought it was somebody else.
Right.
Got himself caught with the fucking floppy disk. Like,
Psycho.
yeah, we'll have to, that's one that we could do. We don't do a lot of, like, massive ones. We tried to stay away from
yeah.
those because, like, so many people have done them.
I'm definitely into
But I
BTK,
really do
though.
like that one because, like, that's fucked up. That is a fucked up
Yes,
one.
it's a scary one.
It's fucked up of how awful he was as a criminal, but also how stupid he was. Like, he was an idiot.
And how long he went on
Right.
being an idiot.
Right, with, like,
Yeah.
years of gaps.
Right.
But, anyway, let's go.
Another witness, ID'd as CM, who had been a previous girlfriend of Yost, was...
So, she used to be his girlfriend.
I knew it was
I'm
coming.
so sorry. I'm done, except I'm probably not. Please ignore me.
This previous girlfriend of Yost was interviewed by police on August 19th, 2011.
All of this is happening while I'm in high school.
Yeah.
That was the year I graduated.
So we've hit 2007 is when Cara went missing.
Which was the year that I went into high school.
Right. We're now in 2011.
Which was the year I graduated high school.
Right. Now, the ex-girlfriend said in one instance he told her she wasn't allowed to leave, and he wrapped his hands around her neck and said, "I have killed other ex-girlfriends in jealousy. I will kill you before you can let another scream out of your throat."
Do we learn of him killing anybody before? I know you said there's a second girl, but did she come before or after? No, you said she went missing first.
Mm-hmm. Cara's been
How
missing
is all of
since
this going
2007.
on, and he is able to get away to go kill another girl?
They've got to have that evidence. They can't just go off of he said, she said. That's the issue.
No, I think testimony's held up in court.
They did, but not until later on.
Oh, because the justice system used to be bullshit.
Oh my gosh.
And still is, honestly.
Now, Yost and the witness lived with a friend who we're going to call AC, who was also interviewed by police on October 5th, 2016.
Why is there such a gap?
There's a huge gap. It's a lot. So he was interviewed on October 5th, 2016, and he said that 3.5 years earlier, he had told him, as in Kyler had told him, that he had choked Cara to death and no one would ever find her body. So this one didn't come forward until years later. So all around, Yost
There's so much happening.
admitted to killing Cara 7 different times over the span of 9 years.
How was that not enough?
They gotta have that proof.
We got a confession.
Mm-hmm.
We have 75 witnesses.
A confession, though, that was said to someone else, that was said to the police.
But that's still like 75 witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the police should have probably just looked a little more. The kid's 18. How much could he have hid?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he used to be a mastermind criminal.
I'm unsure. I didn't really look a whole lot into how much they were investigating to the extreme here. I just know that he was not arrested. He was not charged at this time with her going missing. Now, we're gonna back it up from 2016 again. Kyler was arrested actually in 2013, and he spent 4 years in prison, but it was on a completely unrelated drug trafficking charge, where he was believed to have made one of the many confessions that he did to one of his prison mates.
Oh my god. I am getting irate.
Mm-hmm. Now, Jessica Runions. Jessica Runions was 21 when she went missing. On September 8th of 2016, she was out at a party in Grandview, Missouri. Kyler, who had just happened to get out of jail 2 days earlier, was at the same party.
I'm sure as you're listening, you can feel the irritation. And you can feel how frustrating this all is.
Mm-hmm.
I've banged the back of my head against this wall several times already.
So, Jessica and Kyler knew each other because he was a childhood friend of her boyfriend. And according to witnesses, Yost was drinking extremely heavily at the party, and him and Jessica were seen talking and then arguing. And later on, they were seen leaving the party together. This is actually the last time that Jessica was ever seen again. On September 10th, her black Chevy Equinox was found abandoned and burned in a wooded area in Kansas City, Missouri. That same day, Her mother, Jamie Runions, had contacted the Belton police to report her daughter missing. Our next character we're introducing is Jessup Carter. This is Kyler's stepbrother.
How do we feel about Jessup?
You'll see.
Oh, God.
He told the police that he was with Kyler, and he told him that he had strangled and killed Runion and that she was gone. Eustace told him that he dragged her body into a wooded area and asked Jessup to help burn her car. Jessup told the police he was with Eustace when he set the vehicle on fire. He said that he had received burns to his face and his hands. September 11th, 2016, so we're going 2 days later, I think. A search warrant was served at Jessup's home, and Eustace was arrested and charged with knowingly burning Jessica's vehicle. The burns that his stepbrother had mentioned were prominent, and he had, like, scratches on his face.
So...
Eustace finally arrested.
Okay, so, question. I gotta get situated. My ass is not thriving. She is not body to or bootylicious.
Yeah.
He turned his brother in.
Correct.
I'm scared... Because, like, he did the right thing, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm scared that he's going to get charged with some sort of accessory because he was there when the car got burned.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, also, too, you can only do so much in that situation when you're dealing with somebody. That's what I hate. I hate it when you're dealing with somebody who's so emotionally wrecked and unstable and, like, unpredictable.
That they can convince you.
Well, not even just convince, but, like, he was probably scared. Like,
right. Yeah.
And so... I just hate it because you know he's about to get charged with an accessory.
That's something that I'll mention later is because these people who were talking to the police were so scared. Like I said, that guy waited 3.5 years after the confession to tell the police because they were scared.
And so I feel like under certain circumstances, like...
And mind you, these are like 17 and 18-year-olds. So
right. Because this is his younger brother, right? Mm-hmm. Did he ever say anything about...
I believe he was a younger brother.
Did he ever say anything about whether or not Kyler used to be a good brother or anything?
I'm unsure about that one.
I slipped that one in so good.
You did.
That was like flawless. I'm pretty sad.
It's okay though. We're gonna get justice.
Well, I just read the next line.
Don't read it.
I know.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
fuck.
Now, on April 3rd, 2017, a mushroom hunter was out in the woods hunting mushrooms, and he found human remains in the area of 233rd Street and Y Highway in Cass County.
That doesn't sound too into the woodsies. Mm-hmm. That sounds a little too...
Not into the woodsies.
Public. Seems a very easy to spot.
Mm-hmm. Now, a second set of remains were found in the same area the following day, and these remains actually appeared to be much older than the ones that they had first found. The first set of remains was ID'd as Jessica on April 5th by the Kansas City medical examiners and the Kansas City Crime Lab.
Poor girl.
The second set was ID'd by the FBI Crime Lab in Quantico as Kara Kopetsky on April 16th. So now we have the bodies of the girls.
So do we know if he killed more, or do you think the other one was just him hoaxing, just like trying to play tough boy? Well, again, if he's a narcissist, he
got so angry with these girls because they didn't want to love him.
Right.
And I'll tell you right now, these families of these girls, they bound together, they pushed, and they really did well for these girls. Good. And I'm gonna read some of their...
Yeah, you are.
Whatchamacallits later.
Yes, you are.
The remains were identified, and Eustace was finally charged with murder on October 5th of 2017. He was also charged with 2 counts of abandonment of a corpse. However, they were also dismissed. However, they were dismissed on March 4th of 2021, which I'll explain why the years passed.
Right, but also, too, he did abandon corpses.
I'm unsure of why. I don't know if it's because they
didn't
have enough evidence for it. But...
Also, they didn't use one of his 54 confessions against him.
Yeah.
Sorry, this case is just I'm having a hard time process because it's been a while since I've heard like one of your true crime cranberry cases.
Crew tram.
Crew tram. But it's been a while since I've heard one of yours, And yours, I feel like, are always way more detailed than mine. And so I find yours more irritating.
Because they're more detailed. I try to do the...
Kaylen goes for detail. You said duty. I am so sorry.
I try to do the victims right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to tell their story and for their voices to be heard through mine, I guess I should say.
And I agree with that. I like to... I feel like with my cases, I like to bring some sort of awareness. Mm-hmm. And my last case definitely had more detail. That was probably the most. But, like, you know, I like to bring awareness to the idea of us taking, like, children seriously, mm-hmm. like when I did the Alyssa case and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also, too, I find myself going for shocking.
Mm-hmm.
I do gravitate toward the shocking cases because I want something for you to be like da 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 da, and then like you're fucking punched in your goddamn throat.
Punched in your throat.
Yeah. Is that the first time I've said goddamn on here?
I don't know, maybe.
I'm not gonna take it back because that's how I speak, but
I don't take it back. Kyle's stepbrother, who was supposed to be the star witness.
This is Jessup.
Yep, this is Jessup Carter.
What happened to my boy?
He was arrested for arson in July of 2018.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck did he do? I forgot that he was... That's bullshit, though. He didn't... Oh, God.
So, I'm unsure if the arson was related to the case that was at hand or if it was later on down the road, because I believe hers was in... No, because it would have had to have been later down the road because it was 2016. So, he was charged with arson in July of 2018. And on September 24th of the same year, he was found dead in his jail cell.
What?
The police didn't say whether it was suicide or a different cause of death, but he was no longer able to be the star witness.
So, part of me, I threw my pen because I'm so fucking frustrated with this story. I'm sorry, this is a lot of F-bomb ones.
It's irritating.
I'm sober, which is crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like a beer and a half in. But this is irritating. And, okay, let me talk about Jessup here. It really upsets me because, A, I feel like he already was dealing with more than he should have. I feel like he was in a position where power was being held over him, and he was either scared or entranced to act the way that he did. Mm-hmm. Also, he didn't actually do it. He was just there when it happened. Mm-hmm. I can't promise what this arson thinks about, but it almost sounds like because he didn't know necessarily that he was getting rid of evidence, or I guess he did, but like that wasn't his sole intent. They could probably only get him with arson, mm-hmm. or maybe it's a complete different case by itself. Who knows? However, what it sounds like to me is there's one of two choices here. He either couldn't live with the fact that he had something to do with Jessica, even though he didn't, mm-hmm. and turned in his brother, and then couldn't live with the fact that he had to turn in his, like, stepbrother. Mm-hmm. I feel like there was probably, like, guilt there, so, like, suicide would, you know, that it would be a choice for somebody. Like he was probably, if that's how he was feeling, mm-hmm. I can only imagine how desperate that made him feel, or how just, like, you know, depressed.
Yeah.
It probably made him feel worthless. I feel like that choice is a little easier for me to believe, just because the next thing that would have happened is just crazy to me to think about, and it's that Kyler has so much fucking pull now that he would be able to pull this off in jail. He's an idiot. Like, he's a stupid criminal, but...
you know, I hadn't really related that at all whatsoever, but I wonder...
Like,
I mean, I don't... Again, they haven't released all of those details about what he was, how he died. So, and I mean, they may have released it at some point that I haven't seen yet, but I mean, I've done quite a bit of... I did a lot of research here.
It's just, it's crazy to me to think that he would be capable of doing that, because I really feel like he hasn't gotten out of anything because he was smart. Mm-hmm. He's gotten out of it by sheer dumb luck, because he's fucking stupid. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like, I don't want to give him more credit than where credit's due because he doesn't deserve it. Mm-hmm. However, that also seems like, while it's less probable, it also seems still like it could happen.
A possibility,
At this point, he's already been in prison for 4 years. Mm-hmm. He's probably refined his craft, and he's probably
in prison too. He was arrested already.
And assuming that where this area is, we are all spending our same time in the same prison, so I mean, he might have had pull when he was you know.
Now I'm curious. I might have to do some more research on it.
This means they would have been in jail at the same time, right? So they were probably...
But I'm unsure if they were in the same jail at the same time.
Well, they probably would have been pulled into prison for this. Mm-hmm. Well, no, they weren't charged yet, were they? Neither one of them were. Well, they were charged, but they weren't sentenced. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they probably would have been in a jail. But, I mean, if they came from the same area, they would have been in the same.
Right.
I don't know. Look into it, please.
Yep,
Give us, if you find something, because that's really irritating me. If what feels most probable to me is that he committed suicide, and I feel so bad for him because I could not imagine the guilt that he was bearing from all of this.
Right.
But if it's the other one, Kyler's even more of a piece of shit.
How crazy.
Yeah.
I never even thought about it that way.
My mind always goes there. I watched so much Castle that I was like, people got in prison, in jail, and it was because people were way more powerful than anybody gave them credit for.
Right. In 2018, they decided that because of the high-profile situation of his case, that they were going to end up having to bring jurors in from a different county to have a fair trial for Kyler. I
think that is fair, because they probably should have pulled jurors from, like, a few counties away, or had him figured out how some sort of way to have him extradited to a different place, because it sounds like the boy has a lot of fucking pull.
Yeah. There was something going on here.
Oh,
now,
it's making me sick.
The trial got pushed back a couple of times because of some issues, because of COVID, of course. And
we've made it to COVID time?
We've made it to COVID time.
Where the fuck are we?
So, August 13th, 2019, his attorneys actually tried to say that he wasn't competent to stand trial, and he went through a mental evaluation, and the mental evaluation proved otherwise.
It probably proved that he was a narcissist.
Fully mentally aware of what he was doing. So that pushed the trial back, though. So this is just one of the many things that has completely...
And that was in 2019, so that probably pushed it far enough that COVID became an issue by the time that they went back for retrial.
Right. So on April 15th of 2021...
There we are.
Kyler was finally found guilty of voluntary manslaughter in Kara Kopetsky's death and second-degree murder in Jessica Runion's death.
I am so sorry, but voluntary manslaughter sounds like such a slap in the face to Kara's family. Yeah. I'd be pissed. Do we know why?
I think that it was just because there were so many years on maybe the body and
that they couldn't
breakdown that they couldn't. The saddest thing is we don't know exactly what happened to Kara.
Right. His defense probably played it off as in it pushed, like, he got pushed over the edge that night and snapped, and, like, there's really no proof of it because, like, what kind of stuff would have been found on the body, especially if it was, like, strangulation. So, yeah, that's but still, though, I think given the intent, there's just so...
Right.
I don't know law, obviously, but I feel like given intent, it should have been...
Not exactly the outcome that the family had preferred, but it was an outcome that, you know, I don't know how to explain it.
It was like some sort of justice.
Yeah, it was some sort of justice.
It's not what we think he deserved, but at least he's not walking free like he did for years.
And again, I can't, like, I got chills, like, thinking about how well that the families of Kara and Jessica bonded together and just pushed for this to be taken care of. On June 7th, he was sentenced to 45 years in prison after the judge accepted the jury's recommended max sentence in his murder trial.
Get it, jury. Get it. That's a jury. I can. Oh,
absolutely.
I'm here.
His 15-year sentence for Kara's death and his life imprisonment for Jessica's will be served consecutively. So he's in jail 60. For the rest of...
Well, we can say rest of his life, but he could quite literally get out for, like, at 70.
Well, and he does get... I believe he gets to do appeals, but I don't think that he's been allowed to be out yet.
I wish that there was some sort of... I want him to be charged for his brother. I know that there's literally nothing but... poor little Houston Buchanan pointing anything in that direction, but I want my expertise granted into this case. That it's him.
So I wanted to read some of the victim impact statements because these families had gone through so much, and it's really incredible, which I didn't bring a whole lot in, but it's really incredible. If you are interested in watching anything about it, I got some of my stuff off of YouTube. It's called The video is called Hometown Tragedy. It's on YouTube. It's a great watch, and there's a lot about these families that it just gives me chills how well that they bonded, and such terrible times they really pulled through for these girls. So Rhonda Beckford, who was Kara's mom, says, "It was really hard to listen to all the people that waited so long to come forward and tell about the confessions. It just made me feel like so many people, instead of coming forward, they kind of wronged Kara when they could have come forward and helped, and they didn't because of fear."
Can we please... I feel like so much is applying between your case and my last case, because we were talking about, like, the families and how emotional the families made us. Mm-hmm. And remember, you even teared up during the last one. And because, like, the family stuff was just so intense. And now you're saying the mom is like, so many people just failed her that just should have come forward. And, like, that was the same thing that happened before, too. Like, the whole girl that came home and was like, just get her the fuck out of my house.
Right.
Like... Or the friend that was just like, sorry, dude. But again, it was like a fear thing.
Yeah. So that was Rhonda. That was her mom. Michael Kopetsky, who's her father, says, "She meant everything to me. Kara was my only child."
You can't be reading me victim impact statements. My heart.
Jim Beckford was Kara's stepfather.
Okay.
He showed a picture to the court of a memorial for Kara where they go to mourn and to celebrate her.
A little bonus, Dad. I'm crying. I'm trying so hard. I'm so invested. Like, it's really pissed. Like, I'm just so irritated that it's pissing me off that the family went through so much. Oh, and you know families go through them.
Wait,
like,
do you hear these last two? They kill me.
Families always go through shit, but, like, when we have to, like, and we know that, but, like, when we have to sit and actually listen to how it affected them, like... It hurts.
It's rough.
So bad. And you don't wish that for any family out there.
Jamie Runion said, who is Jessica's mom, said, "My focus was, we have to find Jessica. She's out in the woods. She's not buried. She's in snow, rain, heat, cold. She has nobody there who loves her or protects her. She's by herself in the woods." This was at the case. This was after she found out that she was out in the woods. Yeah, this was during the trial. After everything.
Wait, so she's saying we got to get out there, but they had already found her.
Right.
I'm confused.
Her focus was they had to find Jessica.
But at that time, did she think that she was alive?
No.
Okay.
This was like the trial. Like, he had actually been arrested.
Before, like when her focus was. Like when she had that focus. At that time, did she think that she was alive? Like, is she saying all this, like, we know she's in the woods. We got to get out there. She's by herself. Like, are they saying this, like, we got to get out there because she's alone and she's by herself trying to survive? Or is it her body's out there by herself? We need to...
I didn't really think about it that way either. I hadn't connected the two of those either.
Well, that's kind
because that person his brother had come forward and said something about her being out in the woods.
I just know that, like, with my family, it's one of those scenarios where I'm very much... I think it has to do whether or not you're, like, a half-glass full, half-glass empty kind of person. Like, I'm very much a pessimist.
Yeah.
Or, I don't like the term pessimist. But, like, I'm more so, like, a realist. And so, like, it's really easy for me to kind of accept, like, all options. Like, yeah, she could be
so
alive.
he made the confession, Jessup made the confession that Eustace had told him that she was out in the woods. Like, he had told him that the body was drug into a wooded area. So I wonder if her mom had already heard that.
Oh, so she was saying that, like, my baby's body's out there, and we need to... Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. You are killing me. Please tell me there aren't much more, because I don't think my heart can handle it.
Just one more.
Oh, and it's going to be intense. Is it going to be Jessica's dad?
It's Jessica's dad.
No. Fathers and baby girls... killed me. I like that's how it was in my case. Like, Jesus, the father broke my heart.
It's awful.
I'm going to sob.
So John Runyon said, "This man took my daughter's life. There's no more birthdays, no more laughing, no more video games, no more hugs, no more kisses."
And it's so sad because he's so right.
Right.
Lord
have mercy.
Ooh. I hate that because it's like, you almost don't just, like, when you do something like that, you don't just like kill the person. Like you
affect their entire family.
Like you pretty much kill their family dynamic in a way. And it's like, yeah, that family, you know, may come out strong, but a lot of the times that family breaks apart, and we're not saying that that's what happened here, but regardless of whether the family stays strong or they fall apart, like, the dynamic is broken in some sort of way because you're missing a whole link.
This family bonded together. Both of these families bonded all together. They said that the girls were both very loyal. They were generous girls. They were just incredible girls. And the family they fought hard, and now they proudly go around saying that Kara and Jessica won.
Yeah, and I think it's very important to have that positivity.
Yep. And again, hometown tragedies, if you all watch that video, you can see exactly how well these families bonded over this tragedy. It's incredible. I'm
so glad you didn't give me like visuals or audio clips for me to listen to.
It was hard. Now, I did want to tag in stuff about domestic abuse because, again, these girls were abused.
Right,
and, you know, they were scared and afraid to come forward. Obviously, the only time that Kara came forward was about her ended up getting kidnapped. But I wanted to tag in the domestic abuse hotline. If you are experiencing any kind of domestic abuse, if you are, you know, getting hurt, we encourage you all to reach out. Please let somebody know. The domestic hotline is always available. It's 800-799-7233. There are many things out there right now that you can do. I've heard of people calling and ordering pizzas.
Actually, I don't want to talk too much about my job, but let's just know that it's in some sort of customer service. Like teleservice. I'm not like a telemarketer. I work customer service for a company, like taking calls, and I'm not going to disclose that name here, but let me say that if you have any of those and this is something that I learned working there, that if you have any of those companies that you know, are receiving like a monthly bill for or something of that nature, you know, whether it be like a phone bill or an electric bill or something where you can talk to a person, make any excuse that you can to have to call and dispute something for that bill. And there are protocols set in place to get you transferred to where you need to go.
That's incredible.
So like we can give you hotlines, we can transfer you to hotlines if we need to, we can, you know, like maybe not always be able to, you know, transfer you straight to a police or something, but like it's better than nothing. Like you can get some sort of resource or at least help. And so a lot of companies do have stuff in place for that. So definitely reach sure. Out. Yeah. And
nobody should have to go through that.
Yeah. Call anybody that you have to. Yeah.
Nobody should have to die as a result.
That's correct. And
very heavy.
And we understand too. I think from personal experience within my family, and family members that are close to me who have dealt with this, who dealt with it for like extended periods of time. It's so easy for you to not be in that situation and be like, well, just leave. But like, there's just so much physically, emotionally, and then a lot of times like financially, like that just like keeps you from doing it. And people can say all the time, like, yeah, we say that the resources are out there, but what we mean is we can help give you resources that, you know, could potentially help you, and we do the best that we can as far as like plugging those things to help. But, you know, like not all women's shelters are taking women at all time. Not all assistant livings are able to assist people who are in financially, you know, like positioned situations that they can't get out of. So like we have to stop saying like, well, just get out of there, because it's never that easy. I don't give a fuck what they're like in that situation for,
or how long they've been there.
Like I don't care if it's financially, I don't care if it's emotionally, I don't care if it's physically. It is so diminishing to anyone experiencing some sort of domestic abuse or domestic violence. It is so diminishing to them as a person, and honestly, quite frankly, diminishing to your character if you can look at them and say, like, just get out.
Right.
Like, no, offer fucking help.
Yeah.
You get them out. You help get them out.
Help them.
I'm not going to let somebody look me dead in the eye, let them tell me that they're getting abused, and me not do everything in my power.
Yeah, right. Every single thing that you can do to help them.
I am so emotionally heightened. I need 3 cigarettes at a time. I'm going to have 3 cigarettes in my mouth.
3
just
whole
like,
cigarettes
yeah, I'm going to have them in between each of these fingers. Like this. Like a bagpipe.
Like a bagpipe.
My Scottish heritage coming out, guys.
Well, that was my heavy case. I don't know. I feel like I haven't. It's been a while since I'd really researched into one, and this one was one that really caught my eye. Like, I went through a few, and this one it hit.
Yeah. No, that, like, yeah. Sorry, I just know yet, and all of those are contradicting to each other. I'm confused. I'm not confused. I understand, but, like, I don't, and, like, there are lots of emotions happening in my head and in my heart.
Yeah.
I'm just not feeling great, and...
But justice was served in this one, and...
I feel like it could have been served more.
It could have been served more, but you know what? One way or the other, he's gonna be there, and these families are, like, out here doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
So, they're incredible.
This is why we have to do so much of the fun episodes, because it's so heavy to do. Heavy. Like, just doing one of these cases, if I had to do, like if we had to film this one, and then, or film mine the last time, and then the very next time that we met, film this one with 0 break in between, like, it would have been, like,
heavy. It's heavy.
I'm depressed now.
Right, and then, like, really getting into the cases is it weighs on my mind. So, yeah. It's definitely hard. Jeebus.
That's what I mean. So,
well, like, we're super glad that you all are still listening in. We are trying to do the very best we can for y'all, and we hope to keep pumping out episodes as best as we can.
Yeah, our eyes were bigger than our stomach when we initially jumped in.
Right.
Our balls were bigger than our dick, and
there was a lot going on that we had unforeseen.
And yeah, we are going to get right, and
rock on.
Rocky.
Get rocky.
I'm feeling pretty rocky right now. I feel so.
For sure.
Anyway, but yeah, Kaylen, why don't you tell these beautiful, wonderful, talented, amazing,
incredible,
stunning,
perfect,
extraordinary viewers, where and what social medias they can find us on.
You can hit us up on the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and the Gmail at CrimeOrReason.
Yeah, CrimeOrReason. CrimeOrReason at CrimeOrReason for all of the socials, and then CrimeOrReason at gmail.com for
correct.
The Gmail, and send us. I almost said subscriptions. Don't send us any sort of subscription service. I've got all the ones I need.
Plenty.
Unless you want to pay for them, go ahead. Anyway, no, send us suggestions. Send us your thoughts. Send us requests.
Leave us a like and review.
Please leave us reviews. Again, we say it every time. We don't care if they're good. We do not care if they're bad.
Tell us how we're doing.
We just want to know. Help us. Help us help you. Before you go, I'm going to read you 3 of the notes that I wrote during this. Okay? There's some here. I put a WTF. I don't know what this one means. Well, this one says fire starter. Right here, it just wrote fire starter.
Fire starter.
This one says, I want to punch a stupid face. And this one just plainly says, fuck Kyler Used. So, that's where we are.
Fire starter is because they started fires.
No, I wrote that before. Yeah, I wrote fire starter because I meant it as, like, gaslighting. Like, he was gaslighting when, yeah. Is that not wild? I'm a psychic.
You're psychic.
Yeah.
You blew my mind.
Yeah, it was really crazy because, like, I wrote this and then, like, 5 minutes later you were like, and then he set the car on fire. And I was like, Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
Like, that was crazy. Anyway. But yeah, definitely come back and see us this week, next week, all weeks, every week.
Please do.
Go back weeks. And we hope that you stay safe.
You stay healthy.
And please stay
Criminal.
Goodbye.
Bye.